Meet Eric Morikawa, the mastermind behind making fake casino chips. He's just a small-time construction contractor with no criminal record. By making fake casino chips, he made more than $3 million. No one in the history of casinos had ever successfully made fake chips before. However, Morikawa's story is special because he made fake chips that looked so real, the casinos couldn't realize they were fake. He used fake chips all across Las Vegas casinos and converted them into real money. Everything was going great for him until his one mistake ruined everything and sent him to prison. But before we find out about that big mistake, let's go back to know where it all started. The story starts with Eric Morikawa, a small-time construction contractor from California. In 2000, he went to Las Vegas to find work. He soon had so much work that he had to hire some people, including a 20-year-old named Jeremy Lewis, who ended up playing a big role in their fake casino chip operation. But we'll get to that later. Jeremy had some issues with drugs and forgery in California, and he had been arrested several times in Las Vegas, but Morikawa didn't know about this. Despite his past, Jeremy was a good worker. Morikawa's construction business is going well, but for no longer time. In 2004, the economy crashed, the construction industry slowed down, and work became hard to find. Everyone was struggling to make money. Every person needed to take care of their family, so Morikawa and his team started doing jobs farther and farther away. On one of their return trips, Morikawa noticed something on the side of the road, a casino billboard featuring casino chips. Jokingly, Morikawa asked his team how hard it would be to make fake casino chips. Everyone replied that it wouldn't be difficult. At that moment, Morikawa decided to try making fake casino chips. However, not everyone was ready to make fake casino chips at first, but somehow, Morikawa convinced them all. Now, he and his team are ready to do something which no one had ever done in casinos' history: counterfeit Vegas casino chips. To be honest, making fake casino chips is not as easy as they thought. First, Morikawa and his friend went to a casino to buy some chips. Then, they returned to Morikawa's garage. This garage was the place where they ran their entire operation. In the garage, Morikawa took the chip and broke it open to see what it was made of. He found out that these casino chips are made from clay, sand, and other metals from the earth. Thereafter, heat these materials up a lot and press them into shape to make the chips. Now that Morikawa knew what the chips were made of, he decided to use different and similar materials to make their fake chips. But if he wants to succeed in this operation, he must pay close attention to small details like the weight and feel of the chips, which he understands very well. And most crucially, the sound of the chip when it drops. It might not seem important, but it really was. After a lot of work and research, Morikawa and his team made a chip that looks good and feels almost like a real one when you hold it. But when Morikawa and his team tried the drop test, something unexpected happened. They failed.
This is the real chip, and this is the imposter.
Now, they have to start over and study the chips more carefully to get the drop sound just right. However, everyone is feeling frustrated. Now they realize it wasn't easy. They think they should quit because they can't make chips of the same quality as a casino. They also need more money to try again, and Morikawa and his team don't have jobs anymore. Everyone is ready to give up, except Morikawa and Jeremy. They both believe they've already come a long way and just need to take a few more steps to succeed. Finally, Morikawa and Jeremy remain in this operation. Together, they both spent hours studying the chips from the Green Valley Ranch Casino. They noticed each chip had different colors. The $100 chip was black and gray, and the $1 chip was gray and teal. From past experiences, they knew the main issue was the sound the chips made when they dropped. It was impossible to match that sound exactly. Morikawa had an idea. Instead of starting from scratch, it would be easier to modify the same chip, meaning they could change a $1 chip into a $100 chip, and this was their best idea so far. Without wasting any time, Morikawa quickly began working on his idea. He took a $1 chip and started by removing the $1 sticker from the center. At first, they tried heating it to peel it off, but that could bend the chip. So they placed it in boiling water at 212 degrees Celsius. The hot water softened the sticker without harming the chip, making it easier to peel off cleanly. Next, they worked on copying the black and gray colors of the $100 chip. They went to a nearby store to buy paints. Back at their workshop, they mixed the colors carefully. It took a long time because the colors had to be perfect. After many tries, they finally painted a chip and let it dry. They checked it under different lights to make sure the colors were just right. The painted chip looked almost the same as the real one. Thereafter, they started painting. First, Morikawa and Jeremy used a light gray color for the stripes on the chip, known as pips. They used an airbrush to spray the entire chip evenly. The spray from the airbrush had to be really gentle. After the gray paint dried, they covered the pips with painter's tape and airbrushed the rest of the chip black. When they peeled off the tape, the colors on the fake chip looked just like the real one. Once they got the colors right, the next step was making the fake $100 graphic inlay. They scanned a real one into a computer and printed it on clear plastic to make it shiny. Then, they glued the plastic onto a white backing made of bumper sticker paper. They ran the inlays through a roller, and now, finally, chip was ready. But there was one more crucial thing missing, and without it, Morikawa and Jeremy's chip would be useless.
If you were to run this chip underneath the black light, you'll see a glowing top hat and a cane, and that's one of their security features.
Morikawa got a pen with ink that matched the chip's colors. They used it to color the top hat and cane on the chip. Then they carefully checked it under a light to make sure everything looked right. And it passed the test. After a month of hard work, dedication, and focus, Morikawa and Jeremy had successfully created 3 counterfeit $100 chips. Now, it was time to test them out at the casino. Morikawa and Jeremy are both on their way to Green Valley Ranch Casino. They were both excited to use their fake chips there. When they arrived, Jeremy went inside and tried to cash the chips at the cashier's window, while Morikawa waited nervously in the car, ready to leave quickly if there was any trouble. Nearly half an hour went by with no sign of Jeremy, making Morikawa more nervous each minute. Suddenly, he saw Jeremy rushing back to the car. He quickly got into the car. Morikawa thought they were being chased by casino security, but no one was behind them. When Morikawa looked at Jeremy in the car, he saw 3 $100 bills in his hand. It turned out their fake chips had worked perfectly. They both were very excited and happy that their hard work finally paid off. Jeremy wants to celebrate this success, and on the other side, Morikawa has very big plans ready in his mind. He knows his fake chips are working well, and now it is time to scale this business. Morikawa and Jeremy knew exactly how to make fake casino chips without compromising on quality. They knew the right materials, so it was easier for them to create high-quality counterfeit chips. Working tirelessly day and night, Morikawa and Jeremy managed to produce 20 fake chips each day. They then took these chips to the casino and exchanged them for cash. They did this for a few months. Morikawa soon realized that to play big and avoid suspicion, they needed to produce more chips and target different casinos across Las Vegas instead of just one. So they planned to spread their scam across the town, making chips that matched each casino's style. They always made sure to have enough supplies. The chips had different colors and glitter on them. To make their fake chips look real, they used glitter pens to add a shiny, metallic effect. They were making a significant profit. They bought $1 chip, modified that into $100 chip, and cashed them in at the casino. But there was one problem. Cashing in chips without ever playing any casino games would definitely make the casino suspicious. To avoid getting caught, they need to change their strategy. To make their scam seem legitimate, they started playing at the casino tables and bought real chips from the dealers. After winning $2,000, they received genuine chips from the dealers, which were captured by security cameras. They used this to their advantage by exchanging the chips in the restroom for counterfeit ones, keeping the real ones for themselves, and then cashing the fake ones at the casino. Their operation quickly grows beyond the Green Valley Ranch, expanding to other big casinos like Caesar's Palace and Mandalay Bay. As their plan grows, so does their confidence. They're making a lot of money fast. However, there was one big issue. They know the longer they keep this up, the more likely they are to get caught. They need to make as much money as possible quickly and then quit while they're ahead. Morikawa and Jeremy have mastered every detail about fake and real casino chips, becoming experts in the process. They can now make a fake chip just as good as a real one in just 5 to 10 minutes, producing about 20 chips each day. Making $2,000 a day was good money, but now they're too greedy. So they start turning $1 chips into $500 chips. Morikawa's wife is starting to ask where all the money is coming from and why the garage is full of paint. But in reality, she isn't interested in the truth. Their lifestyle has gotten so much better. Morikawa is hiding cash in the closet, buying her fancy gifts, and taking her out to eat several times a week. It's almost too good to be true. But on the other side, success makes them feel too comfortable and causes some conflicts. Morikawa finds out that Jeremy is throwing late-night parties with groups of girls in an expensive suite at the Riviera Hotel and Casino. It's the easiest way to draw the wrong attention, and that is exactly what happens. One of the girls Jeremy has been hanging out with is blackmailing him. He made the mistake of telling her about their work, and now she's asking for a large amount of money. She threatens to go to the police and expose what they're doing if he doesn't give her the money. She wants the money to help her boyfriend get out of prison sooner. Morikawa and Jeremy are in a serious situation. They need to pay off the girl or she'll go to the police, and they can't risk that. This is a wake-up call for them, but it's not their only problem. Tensions grow even more when Jeremy tells Morikawa a personal secret. He has a history of getting arrested, dealing with drugs, and there's a forgery warrant out for him in California. Morikawa soon came to realize that partnering with Jeremy was the biggest mistake of his life. And unfortunately, it was too late to turn back. Meanwhile, some Vegas casinos are becoming suspicious. They've noticed a lot of expensive chips being cashed in. Morikawa and Jeremy feel relieved after dealing with the blackmailer, thinking they've avoided trouble. But tragedy was right around the corner. In March 2005, with Morikawa's wife away for the weekend, he and Jeremy spotted a chance to cover their losses from the blackmail and avoid attention in Vegas. They decide to go to Atlantic City, aiming high this time. Their plan? Turn a bag of $1 casino chips into $1,000 chips. They want to hit several casinos and make $1 million over the weekend. It's a bold move, and they're sure of themselves after practicing in Vegas. They think they can easily pull it off in Atlantic City, but as they gather their materials and take them to Morikawa's garage, they don't realize that someone is watching them from outside. In April 2005, there's a knock on the door that startles Morikawa and Jeremy, thinking it might be Morikawa's wife returning early. They rush to answer it, but there were Nevada Gaming Control Board officers. Several police officers entered their garage. The officers move quickly, finding Jeremy with thousands of fake casino chips in different stages of being made. They also uncover $1 chips from big casinos, spray paints, printing tools, and plastic, everything needed for making the chips. Morikawa and Jeremy are arrested. Things get serious when they find out they need to pay an incredibly high bail of $5 million each. But the question remains, who informed the police? It was actually the girl who was blackmailing Morikawa and Jeremy. She made a deal with the police to help reduce her boyfriend's sentence in exchange for information. Even though she took money from Morikawa and Jeremy, she confessed to the police. The girl was quite smart. She fooled Morikawa and Jeremy. The consequences are serious. Jeremy's arrest brings up his past issues. He's facing a long time in jail due to warrants for drug crimes and forgery in California. Meanwhile, Morikawa chooses to cooperate with the police. As a result, he gets 5 years of probation, has to do community service, and spends only 90 days in jail. If you enjoyed this video, I highly recommend you to watch next one. Just click on the video and I'll see you there.